Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Larkins. I'm going to do a help video for questions 19 through 21 on your quiz study guide. Just remember they're not the same numbers that are on your quiz study guide, but they're the same questions, so don't just copy my answers. All right, number 19A. The temperature on a cold winter's day in Minnesota was -5 degrees Fahrenheit. Which of the following situations could explain how the temperature became -5 degrees? Select true or false for each statement. So we're looking for examples where the total temperature or the final temperature equals -5. So look for keywords like fell, increase, decrease, got colder, dropped, warmed, things like that. All right, so in the morning the temperature was -10, so it starts at a -10. Then the temperature fell 5. So our keyword is fell. So we're looking at two integers. The first integer is that -10. So that's where we're starting. If it fell 5, that means it's getting 5 degrees colder. That's a -5 or a -5. So if you start at -10 and you're getting colder, -5, your temperature ends up a bigger negative, which means it's more cold. So our answer is -15. The question was asking which situations will equal a -5. So it does not equal a -5, so this answer is false. 19B is the same question with a different example. It decreased by 7 and it started at a high of 2 degrees. That's a positive number. So if it decreased, it's going down by 7, starting at +2. So 2 minus 7, our total is a -5. Remember, different signs are going to subtract. There's more negative than there is positive. That's why we keep the sign of the negative. So it ends up as a -5. We were looking for -5. This is a true statement. 19C. The temperature started at 6 degrees and then it fell by 11. So our two numbers are 6 and -11. 6 minus 11. We're going to end up in the negatives. Subtract, keep the sign of the negative. -5. So we have a -5. This answer is true. 19D. Let's see, we started at a temperature of -9 degrees. By noon, the temperature had, got colder, dropped 4 degrees. So we started at -9. If it dropped 4, that means it's getting 4 degrees more colder. Add those two together, keep the sign. The temperature is now -13 degrees. So it does not equal 5 degrees, so this statement would not result in -5. All right, the temperature started at -10 and then the temperature increased during the next day. So if it increases, that means it's getting warmer, +5. So we start at -10. We're going in the more positive, more warm direction, so we're adding 5, but it's not enough to pull us into the positives. This one still has more. So our answer is -5. 10 minus 5 is 5. You keep the sign of the 10. So it does equal -5. This answer is true. Okay, the last one for this question. The temperature was 15 degrees. That's positive. And then a cold front dropped the temperature by 20. So it really got cold. Excuse me, got cold that night. All right, so we start at +15, and if it dropped 20, that means that's a -20 or a -20. So starting in the positive, but we went way into the negative. You do different signs or subtracting, and you keep the sign of the larger number. So the larger absolute value is that -20, so it's -5 is our answer, and that's what we were looking for. So this one is true. Okay, question 20. We're looking for examples or expressions that total a -8. So we'll select true or false for each one of these. The song, same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger value, then you'll be exact. Those rules apply to all of these situations here. All right, so we have a -4 and a -12. Those will add together to become more negative, and our answer is -16. If your teacher taught you keep, change, you keep that -4. You add a -12, becoming more negative, and it's -16. So we were looking for an 8. This is not a -8, so this answer would be false. All right, anytime you see double negatives like this, when you subtract a negative, you're really adding a positive. You do the opposite. So our integers are -9, +1. -9 has more negative than the positive. Different sign subtract. We're going to keep the negative sign. 9 minus 1 is 8. Answer is -8. We were looking for a -8, so this answer is true. Okay, -2 minus 6. We have same signs add. We'll keep those negatives. The answer is -8. If you do keep, change, -2 plus parentheses -6 equals -8. So this answer is a true. All right, I see double negatives. So as soon as you see a negative with that parentheses and another negative, or a minus parentheses negative, turn that into a big plus sign. It really does help for your eyes to see that big plus sign. Then you won't get confused with those negatives. All right, -3 plus 5. It's more positive. Our answer is +2. 5 minus 3 is 2. So this is a false. It does not equal. 7 is positive. -15, negative, more negative. 15 minus 7 is 8. Answer is -8. We're looking for that. That's a true statement. Last one. We have a negative and a negative there. Minus a negative make a positive. This answer is not 0. This answer is a +16. Does not equal -8, so that's false. Okay, last question. This one's a little different. Be careful of your words on your last question here. It says, which of the following expressions is less than -3? I'm going to tell you right now, a number line will help you. Please do this on your quiz because you won't miss it. So if you draw a quick number line, and we're looking for -3, so I'm going to put like, and it has to be less than, I'm going to put my, I guess I'll just throw it here. This will be our 0. This is -3, and over here is a +3. And you don't have to put all the tick marks. Just know that over here is a -4, and way over here is like a -10, and it keeps on going. So the bigger the negative, the less it is. Remember, less is on the left. Left is less. On the right is going to be greater. So anything to the right, and I'm going to make, let's change this number right here. We're looking for totals that are less than -3. So it has to be less than this right here. So anything to the left of -3 is going to be less. Anything to the right is going to be greater. Let me write that down. All right, let's go solve. We have -12 plus 10. It has more negative than positive. Different sign subtract. This is a -2. Now, -2 is over here. This is -2. It's on the right. It's actually greater. It's bigger than -3. So this one is false. Even though it looks like a small number, it's larger because it's a less negative. It's on the right. It's greater. All right, I see double negatives here. So as soon as you see that, let's make a big plus sign. We have -20. That's a lot of negatives. And we're only adding 2 positives. So this answer is -18. -18 is way over here on your number line. That is a lot to the left. Left is less. It's a large negative number, but it's smaller than -3 because it's a bigger negative. So this one is actually a true statement because it's less than -3. All right, I've got those double negatives again, so let's make a plus sign. -1 plus 2 is a +1. +1 is over here, so it's on the right. It is greater, so this is true. negative 6 minus 3. They're both negative. They're getting more negative. It becomes a negative 9. Same signs, add, keep the sign. Negative 9 is over here. That is on the left, so this one is less. That is a true statement. And the last one is negative 5 plus 8. That is going to be a positive 3. Positive 3 is over here on the right, so it is greater. And this is a false statement. Hope that helped.